Hey everyone, it's Rebecca Ruth, CEO of Worthy, the fashion meetup. I'm joined today, of course, by our prez, Aundrea Wright. What's up?
Hi.
Oh, she sounds so sweet. Don't let it fool you. She's all hi.
What your voice?
And then, of course, our VP, Devin Lyric. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. I love how everybody's so demure when the camera
Yay.
goes on.
Right. We get so professional when the camera comes on. Prior
Right.
to it's another story.
Oh man.
It's a scene.
Yeah,
It's a movie.
it's like you be all like, and then the camera,
Right.
hi, how y'all doing?
Welcome.
Right.
Welcome
Too
to
worthy.
Worthy.
I love it. This is our personality though, honestly. So I
Right.
love it.
Yeah, we need to show our personality, so I like it a lot. Yeah, today's Wednesday. I always like Wednesday. I mean, everybody says hump day. I don't really know where that came from and what that exactly means.
That's a camel?
Mhm.
Right, but what does that have to do with Wednesday?
No idea.
Because
I've
it's
never
the
really.
hump of the week.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Okay. So you can't just say like midweek. That's,
Right.
that's not
No. Hump day.
hump day.
Personalities.
Yeah.
Personally.
Right.
No, and then I love people's takes on it because Instagram goes wild on Wednesdays for hump day, and there's all kinds of translations of what a hump is. So
Right.
there's that.
Mm.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, we won't discuss that because it's supposed to be a family show. But so we're we today are going to finish up our month of mental health awareness. It's been a great month on mental health. Now, first of all, let's understand that mental health is something that is important to Worthy at all times.
Yeah.
However, we wanted to put a special spotlight on it for the month of May because it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, rounding us up is Devin Lyric today. So, Devin, I'm
Yes.
going to let you take it away.
All right. I'm really excited to talk about this episode of mental health. I'm going to be going kind of back and forth between present day and, growing up because a lot of times, our mental health today kind of a lot of things stem from childhood and, different things that we've encountered. So I hope you all watching can, follow along with us on this journey. So growing up, I have always been aware to a certain extent of my mental health as far as things that I like, things that I don't like, things that make me feel good, what doesn't make me feel good. What do I like to do to kind of get my mind off of things that's bothering me, that kind of stuff. But, I'm going to talk about some healing as well that comes with mental health, because I feel like when you heal, you're able to really dissect your what's going on with you.
Absolutely.
I definitely got in trouble a lot for speaking my mind and voicing what it is that I don't like. What it is I don't like about the how the household operates. Imagine that being a kid and like I don't like how this is going. But yeah, I've definitely done that. And to present day, I really didn't start getting into the works of the healing and what's really going on with me and why what is it all a result from until becoming older in my 20s and finding community. And oh wait, so this is recorded. I can cut this out. Do I need to turn my fan off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Right.
forgot this is recorded. I'm like, turn. There you go.
I'm like, I can stop. I can
I
stop.
forgot. I forgot.
Okay, how was that?
You said it. That was what it was.
Okay, my joint was like
I'm like, I
It was
hear
like,
like,
oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
yeah. And I'm like, what is that?
And I'm over here trying not to laugh because I'm acting like we actually live. So I'm like, yeah, she's like, somebody has an echo. I'm like, this man is busting.
and I'm looking down, I'm like, okay, do I continue? Like, I don't know what to do.
I forgot.
Okay.
Wait, so I'm not gonna be able to post this on Facebook. You're gonna have to send me the edited version.
You're right. I could do that. Yeah, because I'll cut this out. And I'm just gonna cut the whole thing out, and I'm just gonna start from like kind of like my beginning because I was kind of rambling.
Okay.
I was like, what do I say next?
Where am I going with it?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Really good. You were doing really good. I know where you're going, so you're doing really good.
Okay.
You're leading
And
up.
I was in there too. Okay, so I gotta regroup. Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna start when you said like I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay.
So Devin Lyric, take it away.
Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking, did I like I'm excited for this episode, whatever. But okay, so take it away. Okay. You ready?
Yeah. 1, 2.
It's still recording.
Okay. I'm really excited for today's episode because I'm gonna really be unpacking my history with my own mental health and mixed in with healing as well, because once you start healing, you really start getting into your mental health and what it comes from. Sorry, y'all.
You gonna cut it again? I already know.
I'm gonna cut it again right there. I'm gonna cut it again. I'm really gonna get in my editing bag today.
You really are. I already knew that. I was like, oh, he about to cut this whole thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep that though. Then I'm healing and mental health.
You want me to just start a new recording?
I don't think you have to.
Okay.
No, it's okay. It'll be easy. It'll be easy for me.
We're cutting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we're definitely cutting.
As long as we're cutting. Oh, Rebecca.
As long as we editing, I may as well.
No fact. I got out of my zone. My freaking fan. I should have turned it off before. Dang, like where was I even going?
Just say, you can just say like, if you're gonna say I'm excited for this episode, just in regards to like mental health, with mental health, like healing is boom, boom, boom. Like I always say imperative, so I don't want to say imperative, and that's not the word that you would use, but like I'm unpacking.
I'm gonna keep that.
Because you said you were gonna go back and forth. So restate that. Like I'm gonna go back and forth between that and this because throughout mental health, like I've learned that healing is whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, boom. 3, 2. And for this episode, I'm gonna be going back and forth between where I am today and before in childhood, because a lot of things stem from childhood with healing and mental health. So for those of you who are watching, just kind of hope you can stay with us on that.
Yeah.
So growing up, I definitely did get in trouble a lot with voicing how I felt about the things that I didn't like, the things that I did like. And have you all ever experienced that, like getting in issues with? Okay,
all the
forget it.
time.
I'm gonna cut that.
Why?
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I don't know, because I didn't need to ask a question that early. Don't be mad at me, y'all. I'm gonna cut it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna cut it.
Get mad.
Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Get out your head.
Yeah.
I know.
But also my thing is like, that's fine if you want to cut it, but just know, like, if it comes naturally because we're here to be involved as much as you want us to, right? So if it comes naturally to you to ask us a question, okay.
Because that can give you a second to regroup. Because I definitely have
experience that. And let us answer and interact with you.
What's wrong with me? I was flowing.
It is. You're in your head, and now
I know.
You're trying to
use those socks.
I know. Yeah, I know. Dang, where was I at?
You were asking if we had experienced that. You were talking about getting in trouble a lot.
Yeah. Getting in trouble a lot, I guess, for speaking about things we didn't like in the family. And I was
okay, yeah. So I'll start there. I'll just start that over where I was saying about going back and forth now in childhood.
Okay.
3, 2. And why I'm so excited about this episode is because I'll be going back and forth between childhood and today's time, because a lot of times with mental health and healing, a lot of things stem from your childhood. So we're going to be going back and forth. So for those of you who are watching, try to keep up with us a bit. So first, I want to go with growing up. I definitely did get in trouble a lot with voicing how I felt about things, what I did like, what I didn't like, the whole operation, because a lot of trauma kind of comes from the household and childhood. And I just didn't like some things with how it was going. And I wanted to ask y'all, have you ever gotten in trouble with voicing the operation of the household? How
Absolutely.
did that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was because like, not that my parents ever used the term like stay in a child's place, but it's kind of like that's kind of what I kind of felt behind it. Not necessarily maybe what I have said, but with me it was the way that it was coming across. Like,
Mhm.
so, and I experience that even now because people think that I have an attitude, but like it's just something that I'm passionate about. And so it's like, I'm really not mad. I just don't think that this is okay. And I'm stating that I don't think that this is okay. So it's
Right.
just kind of like, I'm just letting you know that this doesn't sit well with me. So yeah, I definitely experienced that more so when I was, I would say like a teenager than anything though, because and it wasn't even in my household. It was with my grandparents because I came up with my mom and them being like, express yourself. So when I was in my grandparents' house, I'm expressing myself and they're like, no, stay in a child's place. Like, who are you talking to?
Right.
So yeah, I definitely dealt with it.
Yeah, I definitely dealt with it also. Like, I mean, I had one parent who was abusive, and then I had another parent who was African. And in the African culture, I mean, kids don't talk back. Like, it's literally be seen and not heard in the African culture. So, like, that parent was always like, why are you speaking? I said to do something, just do it. And like I was always told, if it wasn't for your mouth, like we'd be good.
Right. Absolutely. And
Mouth.
Right.
right. And it's always like that, like back in the day. I mean, even today too. And I was going to touch on another topic a little later in the video, but just speaking on expressing yourself. With mental health and healing and unpacking things, I found that as an adult, I became an introvert. And I've always been really energetic and being myself. And growing up, I don't know if you all are watching, if you've ever experienced this, but you're too this, you're too that, you're too extra. You know what I'm saying? You're too extra. You're doing too much. When we get here, go and sit down. And I just feel like it really boxed in my natural personality and who I am. And then just being kind of different, I do feel like this is the black sheep edition.
Mhm.
Just being different from the structure of the house and the structure that people older in my family in the way that they grew up. It's just like boom, here I am, and I don't know what I just came into, but I'm trying to find who's lively like me, and I became like a introverted extrovert.
They'll
Have you
see
all?
it combative. That's what they see it as. Like you're combating
Mhm,
what it is that they're, like and I didn't even mean to cut you off, but that's
mhm,
exactly what they see. Like you're combating what it is that they're trying to get you to do. And it's like, I'm just trying to get you to understand that this isn't me. I'm not doing it to be
yeah,
extra. I'm not doing it to be, because I was always told you're too loud. And because you're so loud, like when people hear people that are loud, it makes them feel like you just want attention. And I was the opposite. I never wanted all eyes on me. I was just loud. Like when we would go to my grandparents' house, like it's my mom, my aunties, like my cousins, all females, and everybody's in there yelling, trying to talk over one another at the family function. So that's where it came from. Like, and I was just naturally loud. So, but it does make you shell up. Like it definitely does, because you're like, wait a minute, I'm not trying to do that, but this is what you're saying that I'm doing. So now let me just silence myself. Now I'm just not going to say anything at all because I don't
right.
want to be too loud. I don't want to be too extra. I'm just simply giving my personality. And that's my personality. So that I definitely have experienced that. And I still experience that to this day. And it bothers me. Like,
Absolutely.
I'm not to anything. You are.
Right.
Right.
Right. And that's who you are. And, Andrea and I, we've talked about the shell before.
Absolutely.
And, becoming an adult, you kind of find yourself sometimes that you are a being that isn't even naturally who you've always been. That shell is just a result of what everyone had a problem with growing up.
Absolutely.
And that is just, yeah, it bothers me as well. And another thing that I found with being an adult before I got into what's up with me,
Hmm.
what am I reacting to, what do I need to heal from, I've always been a person to put others' needs first. And throughout my unpacking process, I realized that it was from me. I'm the eldest child of three, and I was kind of trained to think of my siblings before myself. So if I'm going somewhere, if I'm doing something, if I'm at a store, think about what they would want, think about what they would need. And I didn't know where that came from. I'm just like, I got it, I'm fine. If I got to deal with something, I'll do that on the back burner. But right now, this is what you need. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I'm fully, readily available for you. And that takes a lot of work within self. I mean, within itself. So
Yes.
then when it's time to go back to yourself, you don't really have the energy. You don't really have the
Capacity.
mental capacity, yeah, to really go there.
Right.
And yeah, so I'm gonna break right there
Yeah, I
because I
just
don't know where to go.
no, it's fine.
What do you think?
I'm about to ask you a question.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. So to that point, I just want to ask, like, how did you get to the point of mentally being like, you know what, this is bothering me, this is not okay. I don't like, I'm not just here to make sure everybody's okay and that I'm not. So like, how did you get to the point of being like, you know what, like, let me put Devin first. Like, let me make sure that Devin is good. Like,
Yeah.
what did you do? How did you come to that?
So it was two things. I really started feeling like I was drowning, that I was just kind of suffocating with everyone's issues, to fix everything around me. I've just kind of been trained to be in that spot. So I just took a lot of time to myself. I kind of isolated myself to really get to the bottom of what it is that I'm feeling. What do I feel like I'm suffocating from?
Hmm.
Just getting to that point, and then coming out of that, coming out of that, that secluded spot. I would say the second answer to that is community. So when Aundrea and I reconnected, what was that, 2018? Yeah, it was about 2018. And you were really discussing a lot of things that you've been working on within self. And I just thought that was really neat. Like you're taking out time, you're taking out time to really to
Yeah,
figure out what's up with you. And you were talking about, things of today and where it came from.
yeah,
And what are the steps that you're working on to get to a place that you want to go to achieve that goal.
yeah.
And like really just you let me know, like, no, it's okay, I see that you're doing this, Devin, I see that you're, when we talk, you're talking about fixing this, you're talking about fixing that, you're talking about going to be there for this, and I don't hear you often, unpacking yourself. And I'm like, okay, okay.
Right.
So, I think it's okay for me to do this. So, just having community to kind of walk with you and hold your hand if need be throughout
Yeah.
that process. I think that yeah, I think that helped a lot. And it's a daily journey. Once you start, it doesn't stop. It's a lifetime journey once you start.
Oh my God.
So for those of you who are watching, no matter what point of the process you're in, don't think that you're too far behind or anything, or that you have to rush to get to this certain point. The fact is that you started, and that's what a lot of people don't know, that they haven't even started and they think that they're fine. But to really unpack why it is that you think the way that you think, why do you have that emotion behind it? Really trying to kind of compare, contrast your childhood to now to really figure out what that is. And you don't have to be stuck in a place of, this is just who I am. This is just who I've always been.
Yeah, because
Have you all ever been in that place or
that's not true.
experienced that?
I hate that
Right,
answer. Yeah.
right.
I hate
Right.
it.
And I've experienced that so much. I'm sorry.
True. No, you're fine. It's just not true. Like,
Yeah.
and you don't have to take that and accept it because it's
Yeah.
not true, you know? And so it's, I always say like it's getting to the root of it. And I just want to say in advance, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad that I introduced it to you, but I'm sorry because at the same time, once you start, it's ongoing.
Right.
Like, it's like, okay, so everything is like, why do I do it this way? Like, where did this come from? Like, why do I respond this way? Why am I getting anxious when this is coming up? Why do I feel angry when I'm hearing a stranger talk to me about something that, like, you don't even know me from Adam? So why am I so upset? Like, I just feel like it's an ongoing process, which is really good. Like, I don't want to, make anyone who's watching think that I'm saying I'm sorry because it's a negative, because it's not a negative. It's just like,
Right.
it's just a deep dive. Like, it's
Mhm.
really a deep dive, and it's a deep dive daily,
Mhm.
because you'll start to do it like quicker than you think, because it's just like, and now it's with everything. Like, why do I cook this way? Like, why do I feel like I have to do this like this? Like, who told you that it was this concrete rule? And that's
Yeah.
what I am getting from like all of this too. Like, for anybody who's watching, everybody's doing something from something they were taught.
Mhm.
And it's okay to figure out how you want to do it. It's okay. Like, you're gonna have those moments where you feel stuck, because it's just like, am I getting better? Like, somebody please tell me, like, am I really doing it? Because it's just like, it just feels like you're in a black hole sometimes, because you just deep dive within self. So I definitely have experienced it. Obviously, because I introduced it to you, you're saying, so like, I definitely experience that all the time. And it can
Yeah.
it can be a heavy weight, guys. Like, it can be a heavy weight, but the mental clarity that you will have behind why you're doing what you're doing is so refreshing, to be
Yeah.
able to say, because that's how you change the narrative. If you're doing something that you don't agree with and that you don't like, it's easy to switch when you know why you do it. But if you don't know why you do it, it's just like, I don't want to keep, popping this bubble the way that I pop this bubble, but like, I've just been doing it for so long that I don't know any other way to do it. But then when you figure out why, and like, oh, like, I'm doing, and I know y'all probably like blowing bubbles, Aundrea, really, but it's like, yes, like, oh, because when I chew the gum this way, and when I
Mhm.
pick my mouth to do this, and when I've moved my tongue to do this is the kind of bubble that I get. But if I don't do this, then it's this. It's really a deep dive into even the simplest things. But once you know why, like, I just feel like it makes it that much easier, because you can change the narrative if that's what you're trying to do.
Right.
What about you, Rebecca?
Hmm?
What about you? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, I I felt a lot of things when you were talking, Devin, about being like the oldest. I'm the oldest child as well, oldest of three. I'm also
Mhm.
the only girl. And so, again, coming from the African culture, the girl, regardless of where she is in the line, she's like automatically the one in charge. She's automatically like the mother figure and stuff to the others. So it's like, I'm the oldest and I'm the one
Mhm.
taking care of the
Mhm.
boys and stuff like that. And so, and then just because of like the dynamics in my family,
yeah,
same thing. Like a lot of like my family really depended on me. Like the parents, I was like their counselor, like, but then talking about each other to me and talking about
Yeah.
their marital stuff with me. Then it's like, go talk to your brother, go discipline your brother, go, like, it was like
oh wow,
I was that person who took
Mm.
on all those roles in my family. And then on
yeah,
top of that, just trying to be like sane human on my own with my own like issues that
right,
I'm dealing with and
Right.
stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely got when you were talking about just feeling like everybody would dump on you and you really had nowhere to go, because that's how I felt. It's like, I don't have
Yeah.
anywhere to go. No one's listening to me. No one's coming to me. No one's asking me what's going on. No one's letting me dump. I just
Mhm.
I gotta handle all my family's craziness, and
Yeah.
Right.
you know, what do I do with my stuff?
Right.
Which led to all the
Yeah.
stuff that I've already talked about. So for me, because you asked Andre, you asked Devin what shifted for him. And so what shifted for me was I remember a conversation years ago with a parent about stuff going on in the marriage and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I was getting my master's in counseling, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so there's all this excitement about, yay, we're gonna have a counselor in the family. Maybe she
Yeah.
can help fix us.
It
And I
out.
was like, no. It was
Right.
like that was kind of like the last straw for me hearing that
Yeah.
statement. Because I was like, no, first of all, I can't counsel my own family. That like y'all were wrong for putting me in that role anyways, because
Yeah.
I need counseling probably more than y'all do at
Right.
this
Yeah.
point.
But they
That's
don't know that.
right. And y'all don't
Right.
know that. I was like, but I have kept it all in, because that's just what was expected of me. And
Mhm.
Right.
I just took a stand like in that moment, which I had never done before. And I was just like, y'all are
Mhm.
not coming to me anymore. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't go
Boundaries.
get an actual counselor.
Right.
And if you keep coming, first of all, don't. But if you do, I will bill you like a counselor because I'm like, I'm over it. Like, y'all need
Yeah.
to stop dumping all of this stuff because what you're doing is you're asking me to live in this family, but then also counsel the family. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any
That's
sense.
a lot.
That's a lot. Like, how am I supposed to do that? So, yeah, I finally just was kind of like, enough is enough. I'm not doing anymore. And so, like, for the most part, they're good. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, I'll still get like, hey, could you? And I'm like, no, that's
Right.
your child.
Yeah.
You handle it. It's not my child. That's my brother, but it's not my child. Go
Right.
handle it. So because I was like, when it's my children, I handle my own children. I don't ask anybody else to come in. I mean, like,
Mhm.
I'll get a professional, but I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
asking this person. No, like, that's
Right.
your child. That's your spouse. Handle
Hmm.
it.
Handle it. And that's
That's
a
your
different
Yeah.
dynamic coming from the both of you two because I'm the baby. So
Hmm.
like I just have an older brother, but it's crazy because I still felt that way. And I mentioned it in my story, like of me knowing of being like the chosen. So I still feel like I can relate to you guys, but even though I'm the baby, because I was the one that was doing those things as the baby. So in my mind, I'm like, if anything, y'all need to be helping me. Like somebody needs to be checking on
Right.
me. Like make sure I'm okay. Like I'm the baby and like I'm doing this. And I used to say that all the time. Like I feel like I'm y'all's parent. Like I feel like I'm parenting people that like, that as they would say is good and grown. Like so
Yeah.
it would just be like, what in the world? So it's just crazy how all three stories like everybody can relate and it just goes to everyone again who is watching like it doesn't matter like where you fall within your family. It's like you have to set a boundary
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
for your mental health. Like a boundary has to be set, and that's just that. And I just like commend you both for setting the boundary, for hearing your story, Rebecca, of setting the boundary, for experiencing it with Devin and knowing like he's setting boundaries, like because it's needed. Like
Yeah.
you can't, especially with mental, you cannot just continue to come and dump and go.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and that's what it's like a lot of people want to do. You want to dump and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yep.
so
Yep.
so y'all want me to pick it up. Oh, y'all
Yeah.
want me to
Yeah.
clean it up.
Yep. They dump
Nobody
and then go
actually,
on with their life, and you're
yeah.
like sitting
Exactly.
there like,
And you're just
what you
sitting
want me
there.
to do now?
You
Yeah.
asked me how I felt today?
Nope.
You have to unpack all of
Yeah.
that yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to unpack it all. And that's what I'm speaking about regarding healing, because once you get into it with yourself, before a lot of things do happen to us in life, but a lot of our day-to-day things that we deal with within trauma, it all started at home.
Yeah.
And once you get to a certain point within yourself where you are allowing yourself to unpack it all, then when you start finding out why you do what you do, why you are the way you are, but also you start getting to why the family was the way that they were.
Mhm.
Why did they react to things
Mhm.
that way? Why did they say that we were too much? And
Yeah.
what place were they speaking from it of? And then you start not to look at your family as their role to you,
Right.
mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, but you start looking at them as a person, and you start looking at how they respond to things and how they maneuver through life.
Mhm.
And then you really see the generational mess that's around.
Do. You
So you
really
don't you don't blame them anymore,
Yeah.
can.
because you can literally look at them and see you didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't know. So now when you have a bigger responsibility when you start healing and once you start being aware of your mental health, because you don't really have to assume the responsibility, but I
Right.
think that it's a responsibility that if you're at a place within yourself that you can do, I think that you should do it
Right.
and bring these things up to your family, the things that you're noticing.
Yeah.
If you want to see the change, you have to be the change. And with the work that you're doing within self, you're able to be that change. I
Right.
noticed that you react this way out of, and that's what I started doing. As I voiced earlier, I used to talk about the things I didn't like,
Yeah.
talk about the things that I did like. And with me responding out of offense, out of hurt, out of misunderstanding where they're coming from, because as a child, I'm not thinking about why are you talking to me this way?
Right.
Like, why is that your response to me and not something that I would prefer?
Mhm.
And I didn't look at it that way. So I'm kind of reacting, I'm becoming a part of the household and I'm reacting how they react to things. And I'm like, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
No, no, no. So, but you become more compassionate during your healing journey, and
You.
you can have those conversations. I noticed that this is going on, and I think that we could change it like this. You start finding better results, and you'll be able to like really fix things.
But you have to extend grace in those moments, guys, too, because
Yeah.
you have to remember the process that you took to get there. Because
Mhm.
often where I can relate with that is like I would get upset. Like, I'm pointing out the problem, you just
Right.
want to fix it. Like, that's where I was coming from. But it's like, Aundrea, like, girl, for one, slim up. Like, you had to realize it, and then you made the decision to work on it. Okay. So give them that same thing. Like,
Right.
they have to realize it, and then they have to make the decision to work on it. You cannot make them work on it. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But that's when it's a whole nother boundary that has to be set, because they will still continue to try to come to you and, like, I don't even want to say it that way, but I'm gonna call a spade a spade. They will try to use you for what it is that they're typically used to using you for, because now I'm pointing out what it is that you're doing, and I'm asking questions like, why do you do that? Like, did this come from your childhood? Like, did this person say this to you? Did they do this to you? Is that why you respond this way? And now it's bringing up traumas and hurts on your end. So because it's bringing up traumas and hurts like on their end, they have to be willing to unpack that. And everybody is not willing to just unpack that. So
Yeah.
it's grace on that end, because you have to know, just like you had to make the decision, that they do too. Like, they have to want to do this. They have to want to see why they respond the way they do. They have to want to make the change. So it's constant dives, it's constant boundaries. It's a new boundary for every new level, like, literally. And I mean, diving into your mental health is a daily task, like, for you, for others. Like, it's a daily thing, and you just have to remember to extend grace. You have to remember that you are not the most high. So
Right.
I had to learn that I find out stuff so that I can take it to him and, like, be in prayer about it. It's not for me to handle. I,
Right.
I can't solve it. I can't change it. I can't shift it. So I can bring it up, and you can do with it whatever you choose to do with it. And that's just kind of like where the chips fall, like I can't be, superwoman.
Yeah, and you might actually surprise yourself too, because a lot of people that you bring things up to, they
Yeah.
might not be in a place yet, so they might give you some pushback, and they might get on the defensive and kind of attack. But also on the other side of that, you guys, you might get a surprising response,
Mhm.
because just like we all experience at times that we don't have anyone to really talk to, or talk to someone who understands within community, sometimes friends and family don't really have that either. So if you come to them in a way of, I noticed this, when this happened, where does that come from? Where does that reaction come from? And they might just let it all out, just with having someone ask that question
Yeah.
and be there for support. They might just, talk about those things. And then that starts breaking things within them. So I want to encourage you all to, if even if you've gotten like a shut off response and that's why you don't go to certain people anymore, extend grace, understand where that comes from, look at your own journey
Yeah.
and try again. This journey is about trying things again. You're not going to get everything on the first go, but just keep trying. So I want to go and get into some like things that I do now to continually keep my mental health in check, to continually provide me that peace throughout day-to-day life. Day-to-day life.
Yeah.
One thing with what Aundrea brought up is boundaries. Create the boundary and stick to it. I had to learn that. I didn't get it on the first go. I had
Right.
to keep going. But
Right.
yeah, just stick to, if something isn't working, create a solution for it, stick to it. And then as long as you stick to it, other people might not be able to, fit into that mold right offhand,
Yeah.
but definitely stick to it.
Yeah.
I love to meditate. We have a thing where we call, if you all have ever experienced a pass by thought, a thought of something that's really quickly, like you're not intentionally thinking on it, but it's just something that comes by. We call it a drive by thought.
Yeah.
And meditation for me really allows me to silence everything else around me. And I can pretty much watch my drive by thoughts. I want to see what
Right.
comes up, so I can work on that on my day to day journey with mental health and healing.
Yeah.
So if you all haven't tried it, like, take time out to do that. It's not about, you hear a lot of clearing your mind. And it's not clearing your mind as far as emptying your mind to
Yeah.
where there's nothing there. It's really just you're allowing things that would typically pop up in your day to day life. You're actually setting out time intentionally for different things that are deep in there to kind of come to the surface, and you're able to watch those things.
Yeah.
So then once you watch those things, you can write those things down and you can become more aware of what's going on in your mind.
Yeah.
And then you can work on those things. So then when you're working your job, or if you're, doing things, you're not all over the place because you have so many things going in and out of your mind. You
Right.
set out time each day or every other day or a few times throughout the week for those things to intentionally come up. So once you start addressing those, they're not just coming in and out whenever.
Right. It's the awareness.
Yeah, it's the
The
awareness.
You're aware of yourself, so you know what to do, because you're
Yeah,
aware. Once you do that deep dive, you're able to be like, that's not my thought. Like,
right.
I don't feel that way. So
You
it's just
become so
like,
much more aware of yourself.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then also praying. Come on, you have to like really, where are you getting your guidance from? Where are you getting your answers from? We're not just here going through this journey of life just off the strength of ourselves.
Right.
So I definitely have upgraded my prayer life,
Yeah.
just asking for guidance and just showing gratitude for the steps that I have been able to make already. And the most high is like that's a handheld experience too, through everything that we're going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to your community.
Yeah.
It's important. We have our community here with Worthy, and
Yeah.
we have times where we're working on a daily, you guys, and we're so busy, but we also are intentional behind making time for ourselves and for our minds. So we get together, we have a good time, we talk, we unwind, and that's important. That's important to have someone that you can relate to, who can understand you can understand them, and get that out. Don't be scared of people. Do not be scared to talk about it.
Yeah.
Someone is willing to listen and hear you out.
Yeah, and
And
normalize asking them first though. Normalize
yeah,
being, "Do you have the capacity, because I'm going through this and I just kind of need to let this out today. Like, do you have the capacity to hear this? Because if not, you're doing what you don't like people doing to you, which is just coming
yeah,
and dumping. And
dumping.
so it's just like acts like and normalize that. And that's it is a little weird at first, but it's all new boundaries are gonna feel weird, but it is like weird asking your best friend, like, hey, like, can I talk to you right now? Like, are you free for me to like just kind of let this stuff out? But once you normalize it, it really starts. Now it's a daily thing that it's just like, okay, I'm not just gonna call you and spew. Like, let me check first. Like, so it's accountability on other levels. It's making sure that everybody is feeling good. So
Right.
like you can go there, because sometimes you don't have the capacity to take on anything from anybody else. So I definitely agree. The community that we have within Worthy, the community that we have like outside of that, as well, it's just like it's solid, and
Yeah,
you need solid people around you when you're unpacking anything with mental health, because none of it is light. All of it is heavy stuff
yeah,
normally. So, you have to have that. So rely on that, like rely heavy on that.
yeah. And after that, kind of just take some time for yourself to, cleanse yourself and just to kind of clear your own space. Because a lot of times when you're just starting out in this process of mental health, sometimes you can have those experiences where you're kind of someone's unloading on you and you take on everything that they're feeling.
Right.
And you have to become aware of that. Have you all ever felt like after a dump, you're just like, I don't have anything else. I can't give anything else. I can't do anything else. I just feel so heavy because I have definitely been there.
It drained me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right.
But I've gotten to the point now where I don't feel bad, either interrupting the person or, you know, like some people, there's
Hmm.
those people still, which, who I still have to create certain boundaries, who you already know if they're reaching out to you, if they're calling you, it's only for one thing, because they don't call you, reach out, text you for anything else. They haven't asked you how you were in a year, and then
Hmm.
you're getting a call and there's some kind of drama going on.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
there's some people you already know what they're reaching out for. So
Right.
I've gotten to the point where either I don't like to just not respond, because I'm like, there have been situations that were real act, real like tough, sometimes emergency situations. So I don't want to leave someone hanging and feel like they can't reach out to me during those times.
Hmm.
However, even during that, you have to create boundaries, because I'll give you an example without giving too much. But I had a friend reach out to me. She was in an abusive relationship and things like that, so she reached out to me several times over the course of a year, in the midst of an altercation, right after an altercation,
Hmm.
in the battered women shelter with her kids, like.
Yeah.
And, at first it was like, okay, let me call my cousin who lives there. She can come pick you up. She can take you here. She can take you there.
Mhm.
She can house you. So like I jumped into action, because that's like
Yeah.
an emergency situation,
Right.
right? Especially because there's kids involved. And then unfortunately, like we know, a lot of times victims go back to the situation. So if
Right.
after this happened 2, 3 times, as much as like it hurt me that she was
Yeah.
going back, I had to set that boundary of, listen, I'm all for helping you get out of this situation. My cousin is right there. She will help you, because, I will pay for train tickets to get you and your kids down to me. Like, I will do everything, but I will not if you continue to go back to that home. And it's
Yeah.
like, that sounds harsh and that sounds mean. But I was like, no, because at a certain point, I can't help you if you keep going back.
I
I
can't
can't
help
Yeah.
make
help
you
yourself.
leave. Right. I can't make you leave. The police can't make you leave. I
Right.
can't make you file charges. I can't make you do
Yeah,
anything. But now it's getting to be emotionally too hard for me because
right.
immensely too hard because now I'm the one laying in bed at night thinking about you. You call me,
Yeah,
I hear your children crying in the background. Like that
Mhm.
hurts me mentally and emotionally. So until
yeah,
you have decided that you are walking away, you can no longer call me.
Yeah.
And I remember I got a lot of, not a lot, because I didn't talk to a lot of people about it, but
yeah,
like I did get some negative feedback, and people were like, well, what if something happens now and you didn't help and da 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 da. And I was like, I hope it doesn't
right.
happen, but I'm not gonna take that on my shoulder.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not.
a
No.
responsibility.
Right. So it's stuff like that. So it's like, you know, you have to be even in situations like that
Yeah,
are
Yeah.
hard. You have to be to protect yourself because at the end of the day, if you're falling apart, whatever, you can't really help someone else because let's say she had come down,
Hmm.
in the midst of all that, I would have been a wreck anyway. So like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you're not okay, you can't help someone. But yes, you have to make people kind of, I'm sorry, but man up a little bit and take
Mhm.
responsibility for their own
true.
situations and
Yeah.
do their part and then you'll meet them. But if they're not even willing to do their part,
Yeah.
Right.
that's a boundary that you have to create.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
love that. That's boundaries, that's accountability. And I love how strong you were in that moment because that comment of what if something happens that's kind of like placing pre guilt on you
Yeah,
on like, no, you should make sure that this is what you do and this is the place that you're in with her because
yeah.
you're gonna like, won't that be your fault? And you didn't take that as like,
Oh.
well, let me continue doing that.
Mhm.
And the boundaries of it all is that's why it's so important for one to take responsibility for their own journey because if not and you're not working on mental health, you're not working on healing, you can now become very toxic for the next person because that was a lot for you to
Mhm.
do that and be that person. But if you're not going to do it, then what am I doing? If you're not going to get out of it,
Right.
then I'm just in agony. I might as well be there with you because you're putting us in this.
Mhm.
Right.
It's the responsibility of it all. I want to ask you, where are we with time?
Yeah. I was gonna say we should wrap it up.
Okay. Um.
Because you'll be able to, I don't know, it's probably gonna be at 30 because of what you
Oh
got
yeah.
cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course we're looking at 312, but you can say your final piece and then I can close
And
out.
then, okay. You want me to close it?
You can.
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
3, 2, 1.
And the last thing that I just want to say as far as tips is find something that you really enjoy, something that you love doing. If you're creative, create whatever it is, whether it's fashion, whether it's music, whether it's beauty, whatever it is. And find things that you love to indulge in. Do you like to, go to the beach? I love the beach myself. It is a safe space. It is a peaceful place full of serenity. So I love the beach. But even if it's something as simple as writing or watching Netflix, I just encourage you to one take time out for yourself to figure out what are you feeling today, so that way you can have the appropriate time to address it, and also do things that you love that bring you peace, that brings a smile to your face. And yeah, so continue grinding, you guys. Continue putting yourself first. Continue loving yourself. Continue extending grace to others, but extending grace to yourself. And it's a journey. You're not going too slow. You're not late. You're not on the late train.
Right.
It's a individual journey for everyone. And yeah, so in the comments, let us know some things that you do to find peace, to find serenity. What do you like to do? And how are you gonna extend grace to yourself this month, this year, and continue to grow? So, yeah, we thank you all for joining us here for our final segment of Mental Health Awareness Month. And until next month, stay tuned with us.
Bye guys.